Hi, my retirement dreams to reality. I'm Keely, this is Bruce, and today we're going to talk about our non-negotiables.
Yeah, so basically what happens is when most people are retirement planning, they tend to focus on the financial side of planning, don't they?
Yeah, and the thing is, there's another thing that's really important, and that's your lifestyle goals for retirement. So you need to think about what are your priorities, you need to consider your health needs, you also need to think about where you want to live in retirement and plan for leisure and activities. And once you've got those nailed, that can help with your financial planning. So we decided when we were looking at those that we needed to look at our non-negotiables as our priorities.
Yeah, so in the following bits of the video, what we're planning on doing is individually, we're going to go through our non-negotiables and then we'll come together at the end of the video and discuss our kind of non-negotiables together, won't we?
Yeah, and why they're important for our retirement.
Yeah, brilliant. So I'm now going to talk about my non-negotiables. So my first one is gym membership and protein. Everything I listen to, every article I read has said how important as you get older, it's more important that you are fit and healthy and also that you are maintaining your amount of protein. So in the past I've tried to do home workouts. Over the pandemic I kind of jumped on that train and got some dumbbells and did some workouts and did some CrossFit sessions and things like that, and that was okay, but it didn't really stick. And I see lots of things on the internet and on YouTube and things like that that say, oh, a home workout's just fine, you can do burpees in your living room. But again, the research comes into the more muscle mass you can maintain the older you get, the more important that is. And also what I didn't kind of say is that I'm very much interested in quality of life rather than quantity of life. And the more muscle mass and the healthier I am, the more I'm going to be able to enjoy my retirement. We want to retire early, but also we want to retire early and be healthy. And I want to try and keep that going as long as I can. So that's why the gym and the proteins are really important to me. Okay, so my second non-negotiable is laptop. So I need to really make sure that I've got a laptop for when we've retired. Now the reason it's a non-negotiable is that I really like to edit and because we're going to be traveling and doing so much, that laptop's going to be an absolute lifesaver because it enables me to edit the YouTube videos, but also I'm a bit of a gamer. So I can also, when we're on the ships or around those relocation cruises and all the different things, sometimes I get a little bit bored. So I can watch my films on the laptop. I've got a decent screen rather than my phone, and I can play some games and catch up with that. So that's why kind of having a laptop is a non-negotiable for me in retirement. So the next one for me is quite a big one, and it's holidays. So even though we are retiring early and we're going to watch our money, we still want to make sure we're going on holiday because, again, it's very similar to Keely and probably what she said, is that the weather in the UK is just so inclement, you have no idea what it's going to do. And over the cold months, it's just not been a nice time this time of year. So we really want to make sure that maybe over December, January, February, that time, that we go away on a holiday. And also I want to keep making sure that the whole point of retiring early is so you can go and have those experiences in the go-go years. So that's why that's a big non-negotiable for me. We want to make sure that we're still going on holiday, we're still doing things, we're still having lots of different experiences. So I've got two more now. The second to last one is audio, so Audible books. So I've realised that over the years that I do quite struggle to sleep for some reason. It kind of, when I put my head down, things start to happen, I start to think about things. And I found that a kind of bit of a hack is that if I have audio books, then that helps me drift off to sleep. So definitely within retirement, I need to make sure that I continue with my audio subscription. And also I quite like listening to the fantasy books and losing myself in their worlds and enjoying all that kind of thing as well. So that is definitely another non-negotiable for me when I retire. So my final non-negotiable is coffees. A bit of a controversial topic because a lot of people say you should cut coffees out because of the expense. But actually it's something that we really enjoy doing together. So wherever we are, we'll still make sure that we kind of go to these little coffee shops and have that experience, and it's worth that cost that we spend. And I don't think having a flat white is really going to break the bank from the experiences that we get from it. So again, they're my kind of non-negotiables that Keely and I have discussed and we want to make sure that we have in retirement.
One of my first really important non-negotiables for retirement is to be close to the sea, closer to the water, closer to the beach. There is something very, very, very calming to me about being by the beach. So even in the UK, our relocation is going to take us less than 20 minutes drive away from a beach. And that's what I want. That's why we're going to relocate to Beverley. But that non-negotiable also translates into when we travel. So when we go to somewhere for 2 to 3 months at a time, or even just a month at a time, I want to be able to go to the beach, to walk by the beach, to swim in the sea, all of that. So that's a real big non-negotiable for me. Another non-negotiable for me is the cafe culture. I really, really love the cafe culture. So particularly places in Europe have got a beautiful cafe culture. But when we went to Beverley, that had really nice, lots of little cafes in the little town. And when other places that we visit, that's what we want. That's what I want to do. So when Bruce is toddling off to the gym, I'll toddle and go and people watching a cafe. So that's another thing that's really, really important to me in retirement. And really, I don't have many more non-negotiables. A real big one though is climate. I absolutely suffer from SAD. I absolutely suffer from not seeing the sun. I mean, today, once again, absolutely beautiful day. Please remember, if you're enjoying this video, or even if you're not, please help by liking and subscribing. Like and subscribe. I need to say. We're at a local park called the Rangers, which is literally less than 5 minutes walk from my house. It's an old mining site that's been turned into a park, and it's lots of all the slag heaps, I think they were called, have been turned into hills. You do hill sprints around here. There's a really nice dog walking statue, because all the dog walkers come around here. But the only reason it's such a nice walk around here today is because of the beautiful blue sky. So for me, climate's important, as in one, I want it to be warm, but weather is important, as in I need to be able to see the sky. I need to have that daylight that I've talked about in so many other videos. So wherever we travel to during our retirement, that will be a real factor, a real big factor. So there's two final ones for me really. One is I also want to be able to go to America at least twice a year. That's quite a non-negotiable for me because that's where my son lives. I want to go and visit my son for at least 2 to 3 weeks at a time, a couple of times a year. So that's really, really important to me. Here is the walking man. So it's a steel model of somebody walking the dog. I'm assuming the steel has something to do with the mining, but I don't know. Lovely. So my final one, non-negotiable, is somewhere walkable. So there's so many places that you go that you've got to have a car. I don't want to do that. I want to be somewhere where, I mean, we walk a long way anyway. I can easily walk 3-4 miles to somewhere, no problem. So that's what I want. I want somewhere where we can walk to the places. We can walk to the beach. We can walk to the cafes. We can walk to the supermarkets. We can walk in our retirement rather than have to get cars all the time. So Beverley's a really nice little walkable town, and that's the sort of places that we'll visit as well. So they are my simple non-negotiables. A beach, a cafe culture, a decent climate, America a few times a year, and walking. I think it's really important that you both know each other's non-negotiables because it comes into so much of the planning in your retirement. And although you might be willing to compromise, which we both are on lots of things, your non-negotiables are non-negotiables for a reason. So have a little chat, talk about them, know what each other's are, like we have. So then when you're planning things in your retirement, you've got it sorted. So that's Keely and Bruce from Retirement Dreams to Reality. Thanks for taking this walk with us.